This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live, where apparently Warlord has a clip that he wants me to play right off the bat. Let's get to it, shall we? Since it's so good, since Warlord says it's so good, we'll skip the usual intro. Won't even do my normal bullshit. We'll just go straight to it. How about that? Warlord's hype for it. First of all, here's your meme of the day. If you don't know the story that this is referencing, you'll get it here in a little bit. That's your meme of the day. Here is the clip that Warlord is insistent upon playing at the top of the show. I should have skipped the opening, just played this clip. This better be good, motherfucker. I've hyped it up this much now. It'll never live up to it.
You're watching Sky News Today. Still to come, farmers preparing to protest in Westminster as inheritance tax anger grows. We'll be speaking to cereal farmer Ollie Harrison.
What?
You're watching Sky News Today. Still to come, farmers preparing to protest in Westminster as inheritance tax anger grows. We'll be speaking to cereal farmer Ollie Harrison. You're watching Sky News Today. Still to come, farmers preparing to protest in Westminster as inheritance tax anger grows. We'll be speaking to...
Okay. I was like trying to figure out what the story had to do with anything, but it wasn't English. But yeah, it is kind of because they're showing the attackums in the background.
Ollie Harrison.
Now that I know what an attack'em is.
You're watching Sky News Today.
I got my Crustables and my Attack'ems.
Westminster as inheritance
comes with my Lunchables.
We'll be speaking to cereal farmer Ollie Harrison.
The farmers are going to launch long-range missiles at Downing Street. That's pretty good. After I realized what was going on, yeah, because none of those words made sense to me as I'm hearing the announcer say. Attacking them balls. I don't even know what's the show about now. I don't even know. Arm the British farmers. No gods, no kings. This is your meme of the day. Do they still do the question mark blocks in modern Mario? Do the kids know like what the question marks blocks do? Or is that like a us Gen X early millennials kind of thing? Oh, wait a minute. The new Marios, because they got the Super Mario, the 2Ds now. So yeah, they've all got them. I forgot. Yeah, Flash, and actually the new Marios are really fucking fun. Yeah, in the 2D side scrollers, those are excellent. If you guys haven't played those, they're amazing, and they will take you right back to being a fucking kid. And they're a lot of fun when you get 4 people, because you can have 4 people on the screen. You guys like knock each other around and shit. It becomes hard to do the level because they're kind of easy unless you've got a lot of people on the screen. So just throwing that out there for you. The newer, is it Super Mario Brothers something or other? The New Adventures of Super Mario Brothers or some shit. Fucking excellent. Highly recommend them. They're not even that new anymore because they started on the Wii U, I think. I'm not a Nintendo guy. I don't own a Nintendo. I have a 64 under here, but I barely played it. Mario is their flagship. You got to have a new Mario with each new iteration. What, we're getting Switch 2 or something here soon? Anyway, I didn't run down the news. I'm gonna let you guys be surprised. I'm gonna let you guys be surprised by what that news be doing tonight. How about that? I'm gonna tease it. It's just gonna come as a shock to you. Let's just say there's wild shit going on, as always. We're gonna start tonight with Trump declaring his plan to declare a national emergency and use the military for mass deportation.
And Trump's picks for border czar and Homeland Security Secretary say they plan to prioritize deporting criminals, but the Biden administration says it's already been doing that. Let's bring in Leon Rodriguez, former director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services under President Obama, for more on that.
Yep. The Democrats are like, we've already been doing mass deportations. What are you talking about, Republicans?
Leon, thanks for coming on. Trump has repeatedly said that he plans to declare a national emergency and use the military to enact his mass deportations. He hasn't revealed many details beyond that, though. So how would that work? How would declaring an emergency enable him to then enact mass deportations?
Well, I think there are going to be a lot of legal questions as to whether and to what extent he can use the military for that purpose and declare a national emergency. But I think the idea is to leverage resources that the military has to bolster what Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Department of Homeland Security more generally have. We do have to remember back to...
If I'm not mistaken, you can't use the U.S. military on U.S. soil, right? That's like in the Constitution.
The experience of the first Trump administration. They attempted to use the National Guard. In fact, then Governor Kristi Noem sent the South Dakota National Guard to support
Kelly, good evening.
Control efforts. And generally that is remembered as a sort of a non-entity in the sense that there really was not much that troops not trained in border control, not trained in immigration enforcement, really could do to bolster those efforts. And so the question is, how is this time going to be different?
Now, the mass deportation plan, as you say, right, you're expecting it to face a lot of opposition in court. How do you see...
I was wondering, because the border zone, that 100-mile radius or whatever...
I think those legal travel challenges will
look got some weird exemptions.
What is the authority to declare a national emergency? What are the circumstances that support such a declaration? And to then question in court whether those standards have actually been met. Given the way we've been managing the border, managing immigration, really.
Minty, good evening. Posse comitatus. Yeah, that's the
layer to this, which is the legal challenges for the actual machinery of...
That's the word for it.
Each individual who is put into deportation proceedings has due process rights.
Oh, I think I skipped over telling everybody, hey, M-Lord, Clinically, Flash, everybody, Warlord, welcome in. I forgot. My bad. That seems rude on my part.
That they undoubtedly will be asserting, that attorneys will be asserting on their behalf. In fact, I know that immigration lawyers and others willing to work pro bono are mobilizing to resist those deportation efforts when they begin. And I do think they will begin.
And Trump also says he plans to end temporary protected status for millions of legal immigrants. So break down who falls under that protection and the potential impact of ending it.
A lot of immigrants.
So temporary protected status protects individuals for whom the Department of Homeland Security has declared
we've got Iraqis,
catastrophic or extraordinary circumstances.
We got Afghanis.
In their
a lot of people that worked with us that are military.
Makes nationals of those countries unable to return.
Haitians.
Grants those individuals permission to remain in the United States and work authorization. And countries that have had those declarations include Venezuela, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. And in fact, Haiti is another one. In fact, there were efforts during the first Trump administration, almost all of which were successfully stopped in court to remove those temporary protected status grants and the resulting work authorization. But given the inclusion of Venezuela now, which was not a factor in the first Trump administration. We're really
it's sad, Flash. I'm seeing a lot of people that are currently active duty that are wondering if they should continue to serve. And I don't even is it a good thing for people to flee en masse from the military? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's good to leave the military apparatuses in the hands of fucking crazies. I don't think everyone should desert the military and leave it in the hands of the fucking crazy motherfuckers. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah, Flash, that's the thing.
Thousands of people who currently have the authority to be legally in the United States who may lose it if the incoming administration is successful in implementing those terminations of temporary protected status.
So what's your response to critics who say that temporary protected status has become a backdoor, essentially, for immigration from lots of these countries and has not been so temporary?
I mean, I think that really reflects the conditions in those countries. Those are countries that have experienced either war, severe natural disasters.
Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Haiti. Do you want me to tell you what they all have in common? Let's go back and look and see what the CIA was doing in those countries through the 50s, 60s, and 70s, shall we? Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out. You didn't list that.
The impact of which remains to this day. So, in essence, the conditions that supported the implementation of temporary protected status continues until now. So, under the law, the Department of Homeland Security,
ICBM party, welcome in,
continuing those temporary protected status grants. I mean, Venezuela is certainly a good most recent example. It's undisputed that this is a country that is in breakdown in a number of respects.
All right, former Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Leon Rodriguez, we appreciate it.
There's not gonna be a horror show. This isn't the start of something dark and scary. We're not going down a crazy path that's gonna fucking put people's lives and rights in danger. That's not going on right now.
Demonstration by neo-Nazis over the weekend in Columbus, Ohio. The armed group marched carrying flags with swastikas on them. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. The hate was right out in the open. So brazen, Ohio's governor felt compelled to respond.
This morning, new surveillance footage of an armed group of men carrying flags emblazoned with swastikas marching through the streets of Columbus, Ohio. The troubling incident happening Saturday afternoon. Each person dressed head to toe in all black, masks concealing their faces. They shouted vile and racist speech against Jews and people of color. Ohio's governor denouncing the neo-Nazis, writing, "There is no place in this state for hate, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or violence." Hate crimes have been on the rise for the past several years, according to data from the FBI. The Anti-Defamation League also notes a stunning increase in acts of anti-Semitism, with incidents doubling last year compared to 2022. Overnight, African-American community leaders in Columbus taking to the same streets in a peaceful counter-protest.
Today, it sends a clear message that this cannot happen in our city, in this state, nor in this nation. We're not going to be repelled. We're not going to be moved back.
Just a week ago in Michigan, another group carrying Nazi flags outside of
party, my man. It's not January 20th yet. Joe Biden is your president.
Come on, man.
Dumb fuck.
Theater production of The Diary of Anne Frank.
We asked both President Biden and President-elect Trump about the Ohio incident. Biden responded denouncing
shutting down the performance of The Diary of Anne Frank. That doesn't sound like a bad omen.
And apparently no direct threat of violence. No arrests were made. The First Amendment allows for all kinds of free speech, including speech dripping with hate. Robin?
All right, Pierre, thanks to you.
Socialist Aunt, welcome in. Good evening. Neo-Nazi marches also accompanied by a new wave of hateful texts targeting even more groups. We had the texts about reporting for your slave duties or picking cotton or something sent to a bunch of black students. Now we have offensive messages being sent to Hispanic students and the LGBTQ community.
The FBI says that a new wave of offensive and racist texts targeting Hispanic and LGBTQ communities have surfaced. Now, some of the messages even are going out to students.
And they're asking victims to come forward, report that type of abuse. Carlos Aceto joining us live in Hollywood. He's got the latest on that. Carlos?
Great, Kareem, good evening. The wave of offensive text messaging is targeting students everywhere, including here, the nation's second largest school district, LAUSD. And the hateful messaging is branching out to include Latino students, to include LGBTQ students. So civil rights organizations, they're speaking out, demanding that the school district do more to keep its students safe.
We have a climate of hate now. We have a climate of racial
We
hate.
certainly do.
It's not new, but I think it has intensified, unfortunately, since the election.
LA's Urban Policy Roundtable president not mincing words as he describes the current political climate that he believes is leading to hateful and offensive messages geared towards students of color.
Take the text seriously, and students and parents, when you receive racist texts, report them. Don't hide them.
He's talking about text messages like this received by Hispanic students at LAUSD, informing them they would be deported. The FBI confirms that the offensive texts are being sent to members of the Latino and LGBTQ communities. The agency began investigating previous reports of dozens of messages being sent to black students following the presidential election. The racist text messages were about slaves and picking cotton. The source of the anonymous messages is unclear. A spokesperson for Donald Trump.
Cool B-roll they showed there.
Action. Both Republican and Democratic lawmakers have spoken out against
the hacker video.
rhetoric. But there's growing concern that this type of communication can lead to violence at schools.
The LA Unified School District, the officials, top to bottom, have to continue to be vigilant, have to continue to take action. And that action is tight security, counseling, and be on guard.
Now, LAUSD had previously put out a statement condemning these types of messages while asking students and parents to alert them immediately if they receive one of these hateful messages. We're live in Hollywood. Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
I wouldn't see how it wouldn't be easy to subpoena one of the carriers and find out where those texts came from. I don't know how that's not a thing. Are you telling me the FBI doesn't have that kind of fucking technology? Bullshit. That one should have been super easy to take care of. These people aren't crazy. They're not in a cult. Bragwitz, Tadpole. Who else snuck in here on me? Josephus, welcome in. Well, yeah, they got back doors to back doors, exactly. And like, if it's just like some kids playing a prank, if it's like a Reddit thing, it should be super fucking sloppy and easy to find. So I don't know why we haven't nipped that in the bud yet. These people aren't crazy. They're not in a cult. At least 7 Oklahoma superintendents are refusing to show Ryan Walters' video to students. Ryan Walters being the Oklahoma superintendent. Or overseeing the State Board of Education. At least 7 large Oklahoma school districts said Friday they have no intention of showing a video of State School Superintendent Ryan Walters discussing his state agency's new Office of Religious Liberty and Patriotism, despite Walters saying doing so was required. Let's see what we think about this little video here, shall we?
We are excited to announce a new office here in the Oklahoma State Department of Education. That will be the Office of Religious Liberty and Patriotism. For too long in this country, we've seen the radical left attack individuals' religious liberty in our schools. We will not tolerate that in Oklahoma. Your religious liberties will be protected. We've also...
When has the left attacked religious liberties in school? Courts have repeatedly upheld. Students are allowed to pray to themselves. They're allowed to bring Bibles and read Bibles. That the Bible can be taught as, you know, a historical work. So I don't know what this motherfucker is on about.
Also seen patriotism mocked and a hatred for this country pushed by woke teachers unions. We will not tolerate that in any school in Oklahoma.
Woke teachers unions. Always with the woke stuff.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Lily, good evening.
We want our students to be patriotic. We want our students to love this country. And we want all students' religious liberty to be protected. I will now say a prayer. And to be clear, students, you don't have to join. But if you so wish, I'm going to go ahead and pray. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings you give our country. I pray for our leaders to make the right decisions. I pray in particular for President Donald Trump and his team as they continue to bring about change to the country. I pray for our parents, teachers, and kids that they get the best education possible and live high-quality lives. I also pray that we continue to teach love of country to our young people and that our students understand what makes America great and that they continue to love this country. Amen.
He mentioned patriotism. I think we do need more patriotism in this country. I think me in the chat, we should totally do the Pledge of Allegiance right now since he brought it up. Will you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you very, very much for letting us little kids live here. It really, really was nice of you. You didn't have to do it. And it's really not freaky to have little kids mindlessly recite this anthem every day and pledge their life to a government before they're old enough to really think about what they're saying. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is really the greatest country in the whole world. All the other countries suck. And if this country ever goes to war, as it's often wants to do, I promise to help go and kill all the other countries' kids. God bless Johnson & Johnson. God bless GE. God bless Citigroup. Amen.
Very good, kids. Now come and get your Ritalin.
Miss you, Trevor. Miss you so much, Trevor. I loved that motherfucker. He really got into making his own alcohol during the pandemic. It was really drunk on moonshine and fell off the balcony of his house and died. Question marks, good evening. I think he would have enjoyed the humor in it. And I like that when the gang from Whitest Kids You Know announced his death, they said that he died trying to suck himself off. And they sold it totally serious. Cuz he would have wanted it that way. But he had like a contract to do like whatever he wanted on Comedy Central. And like so much good content was coming out. If you guys have never heard the song It's Time for Guillotines, look up It's Time for Guillotines. That should be everyone in this chat's anthem. It's time for guillotines. Elon Musk, speaking of guillotines, blast the mole in dinner blow up over cabinet at Mar-a-Lago as Trump's golden boy is targeted. For a while, Donald Trump's transition kept a record-setting pace with top cabinet picks being named against a backdrop of calm consensus. But the knives are now out with advisors leaking against each other to the press amid the scramble. You know what? We may do fucking Trevor Moore just for fucking live music Monday tonight. I may toss my already picked acts in the trash and we may do Trevor Moore. Fuck it. For a while, Donald Trump's transition kept a record-setting pace with top cabinet picks being named against the backdrop of calm consensus, but the knives are out now with advisors leaking against each other to the press amid the scramble to parachute allies into plum jobs. Winning helped make everything better for a bit, but this is still politics and there are always scores to settle and axes to grind, said a source familiar with the workings of Trump's inner circle. This is going to be the thing to watch during the second Trump administration. The knives will be out. Holy shit. In the most widely publicized example, Axios was tipped that Tesla founder Elon Musk and Trump legal advisor Boris Epshteyn had a major blow-up during a dinner at Mar-a-Lago last week. The report claimed that Musk bristled at Epstein's influence on cabinet picks and accused him of leaking details to the media. Charges he vociferously denied. At the same time, Musk's new role as first buddy to Trump has irked others in the circle who hope that he soon falls out of favor with a boss who likes there to be only one center of attention. A transition source played down the story, saying Epstein and Musk had a good relationship and had dined frequently at the same table. Even so, it comes as other Trump loyalists express irritation at Musk's growing influence as well as his public comments on appointments and policy. Ooh, Flash thinks Elon was the leaker. That's possible. Or it could be a party not related to either of them. I don't think Elon will not attend the inauguration. I don't think he makes it in Trump's circle that long. That may be wishful thinking on my part. That I want to see the blow up. He is a catty beach. Both of them are. Both of them are. Trump and Musk both. Speaking of catty beaches, I bet there's some Congress people that are catty beaches, and we're gonna eventually see the leak of this ethics report having to do with Matt Gaetz. I can tell you that two of the witnesses are very unhappy that this ethics report isn't getting released, and they are speaking up.
Breaking news, a lawyer says his client witnessed Congressman Matt Gaetz having sex with a minor. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips.
Oregon gal.
With Florida attorney Joel Leppert.
Oregon gal thinks Elon will make it to the inauguration. Can we get a poll in chat? Who thinks Elon will make it to the inauguration? Who thinks he's out before then? What have we got? About 70 days?
Just now sitting down with our Juju Chang to talk about his client's testimony to the House Ethics Committee. This interview now dropping as the committee is expected to meet this week to discuss whether it plans to release its ethics report, all centered around former Congressman Gaetz. Joining me now are Jay O'Brien up on Capitol
Kelly says he makes it just past the inauguration.
About the testimony from these two women, Jay.
Well, Kira, we know that the House Ethics Committee had been conducting this months-long investigation into Congressman Matt Gaetz, allegations of sex trafficking, allegations of sex with minors, allegations of illicit drug use, all things that Matt Gaetz denies. And we know that this investigation, while no longer happening because Matt Gaetz has resigned from Congress in order to become Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, while the investigation has stopped, we've never quite known exactly what House investigators found and what is in this report that sources tell us was being compiled before Matt Gaetz resigned. Now we are talking.
Flash thinks they're in it for the long haul.
Two women who spoke to the House Ethics Committee. He was in the room for both of those interviews. And here's what he said one of his clients told those House investigators.
At this particular event, what did your client witness?
So she testified in July of 2017 at this house party. She was walking out to the pool area and she looked to her right and she saw Representative Gaetz having sex with her friend who was 17.
Now, Matt Gaetz has denied he ever had sex with anyone under the age of 18 years old. We also know, according to sources, that a woman testified to the House Ethics Committee that Matt Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17 years old and in high school, and he was a sitting congressman. Again, Matt Gaetz has denied that. We also know that House investigators were looking into Venmo records and accusations that Matt Gaetz allegedly paid women for sex. Again, these are allegations that he denies. Here is what this attorney told our Juju Chang about that aspect of this investigation.
Both of your clients testified that they were paid by Representative Gaetz to have sex.
That's correct. The House was very clear about that and went through each. They essentially put the Venmo payments on the screen and asked about them. And my clients repeatedly testified, what was this payment for? Well, that was for sex.
We also know this attorney says that his clients told the House committee that they witnessed parties, that there were illicit drugs allegedly there, and then, of course, that they witnessed those alleged sex.
That's no big deal.
That Matt Gaetz has denied. Matt Gaetz has pointed to the fact that the Department of Justice investigated all of this and declined to bring criminal charges. And this hour, we are also learning that we have a statement from a spokesperson for the Trump transition team. Again, Matt Gaetz has been named as Trump's pick for Attorney General. That's why these allegations are getting renewed scrutiny and additional light. Here is what that statement says. I'm going to read it to you in full here, Kira. Quote, Matt Gaetz will be the next Attorney General. He is the right man for the job and will end the weaponization of our justice system. These are baseless allegations intended to derail the second Trump administration. The Biden Department of Justice investigated Gaetz for years and cleared him of wrongdoing. The only people who went to prison over these allegations were those lying about Matt Gaetz. Again, that according to a spokesperson, that statement rather, from a spokesperson for the Trump transition team, Kira.
So the House Ethics Committee is supposed to meet this week, supposed to meet on Wednesday. So as all of this starts to break and we're hearing from this attorney and we're getting more details from this attorney, I think that only adds to the pressure on the committee to release this report, its initial investigation into Matt Gaetz' behavior.
And there has been that pressure from Republicans in the Senate, Kira, on the House Ethics Committee to release this report. There are Republicans in the Senate who have said they want this report, or at minimum, they want to know what is in this report officially from the House Ethics Committee. They want to know what House investigators found into Matt Gaetz before the Senate were to take up the aspect of his confirmation, before they were to hold hearings on the possibility of his confirmation, before they were to hold a vote. And we also know that Speaker Mike Johnson has said that the House Ethics Committee doesn't have jurisdiction in a way over Matt Gaetz anymore and doesn't have the ability to release this report because in Johnson's view, Matt Gaetz is no longer a member of the House and therefore the House Ethics Committee doesn't have purview over matters related to Matt Gaetz because he's no longer a sitting member of Congress. This is potentially setting up a clash, Kira, between Republicans in the Senate who have said they want this report or at least the salient facts in this report and the House, which has said potentially that they don't want to release this. We'll all see what the committee says on Wednesday. But up until today, Kira, we had somewhat of a haze.
It's not public information yet.
What was in
That's why I would think that like a congressperson should be able to like read it into the record or something. There has to be a way to maneuver around the House Speaker, or one of these motherfuckers just leak it to a reporter.
This report, and now we're learning key details about what this attorney alleges his client told these investigators and what presumably might be in this report, Kira.
Well, and you and I talked last week, even with our Rachel Bay, that even if the committee decides not to release this report, that more than likely someone's going to leak it anyway. So with all these allegations and other concerns about Gates as Attorney General, what does the path of confirmation look like for him at this point?
It was a potentially rocky path for Matt Gaetz, even without all of this House Ethics Committee investigation fervor. And that's because there have been senators who have said they don't like his temperament. They don't think he's qualified to be the Attorney General, putting aside these serious allegations that Gaetz has denied, but the House Ethics Committee has been investigating. They don't like the fact that he's been a political bomb thrower, the fact that he's branded himself a political firebrand, the ousting of Kevin McCarthy, for example. There are moderate Republican senators who say they have an issue with Matt Gaetz's political track record, not just these investigations into his personal life and allegations that, again, he has denied. So it was a rocky road to confirmation, save even this report.
Rocky road.
But obviously, senators have said they want the full picture into Matt Gaetz, and that's why they want to read this report.
Jay O'Brien, I think a lot of us want to see this report. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And it's the party that we heard about child grooming from. For how long? Let's pick on the Democrats a little bit, but not really. But we're gonna have to dive into a story that the right-wing media is going crazy over. The Democrats in Pennsylvania are counting ballots that a judge ruled were illegal. Now, this sounds like the Democrats are doing something shady, but there's a caveat here. These were ruled previously to be legal ballots. The Dems are kind of in the right spot here. The Republicans are trying to throw out ballots that don't have a date, that somebody forgot to write the date on them.
Nearly 2 weeks after Election Day, and the Pennsylvania Senate race is still not settled. GOP challenger Dave McCormick ahead of incumbent Democrat Bob Casey by less than 0.5%, triggering an automatic recount under state law. A court battle erupting over mail-in ballots. Weeks before the election, the state Supreme Court ruled mail-in ballots with a missing or incorrect date could not be counted. Election officials in at least 4 counties, Bucks, Philadelphia Center, and Montgomery, openly defying that ruling. In Bucks County, the Democrat-led Election Commission Board voted to count 405 ballots with date errors.
Precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country, and people violate laws anytime they want.
I mean, she's right.
For me, if I violate this law, it's because I want a court to pay attention to it. And there is nothing more important than counting votes.
The blatant flouting of the law sparking outrage. The liberal Washington Post editorial board saying Democrats are thumbing their nose at the rule of law, calling it, quote, corrosive to democracy. Conservative commentator Jonathan Turley writing in an op-ed that Democrats are dropping any pretense of protecting democracy over partisanship.
Essentially, this is election denialism of the kind that Democrats have been attacking Donald Trump for doing.
It's election denialism to count legal votes. By the way, when McCormick ran for Senate last time, or no, when he ran in the primary, he actually was on the other side and wanted ballots with the date missing counted.
In the past.
Dave McCormick's campaign now suing the county, demanding it obey the state Supreme Court ruling. Pennsylvania's other senator, Democrat John Fetterman, downplaying the Democratic counties flouting the courts.
It's very, very close, and I guarantee you, if Dave McCormick were in the opposite situation where he was down 15 to 17,000 votes, he would absolutely want to have every last.
He did in the primary.
Vote counted as well too. And Bob Casey has never claimed fraud.
Amid the recount drama, Dave McCormick attended last week's new senator orientation on Capitol Hill. Pennsylvania counties must hand in the results of the recount by November 27th. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Just to be clear that he did indeed sue in the primary. I was on the opposite side. Let me change the time. It's giving me election bullshit. New court challenge filed in Pennsylvania to prevent some mail-in ballots from getting thrown out. That was filed by a left-leaning group. I swear I saw that he was on the side of counting the ballots in the primary. Okay, here's Republicans that sued, but it doesn't say if the McCormick campaign weighed in. Okay, take that with a grain of salt. I can't verify it. Sorry. Do you remember that Iowa poll that came out, about 5 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Something like that? Right before the election? Showing that Harris was up? The woman who did that poll, she's resigning.
In other political news we want to get to, all associated with the election, if you remember, leading up to the election, just days before, a very famed Iowa pollster came out and said that Kamala Harris was beating Donald Trump in Iowa. Of course, that didn't turn out to be the case after the election, but a lot of people were talking about that poll in question. Well, now the pollster is retiring. We are talking about this big veteran pollster, Ann Seltzer, who...
This is the news service for Fox affiliates, Monsieur Ball. This is not Fox News, the cable channel. This is the running news service for Fox affiliate, like your local Fox station. Oh, wait a minute. Are you in the U.S.? Do you even know what a local Fox station is? Do you guys have those? You're in Canada, right? Am I getting you confused with Prometheus or something? I don't Fox Klingon. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Put out this big, really a lot of people were talking about it, where they're like, okay, is Kamala having a play at Iowa where it had her up by 4 points? That didn't turn out to be the case, but now we are...
I had no illusions thinking that she would win Iowa, but I thought the poll might be confirming my belief that the polls are underestimating her and that she would win Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin by 2 or 3 points. Boy, was I wrong.
Are learning that veteran pollster Ann Seltzer announced that she was done with the election polling and moving on to other ventures after her pre-election poll in Iowa inaccurately showed... I
don't know what you're talking about.
Kamala Harris ahead of President-elect Donald Trump in the state he had easily won in 2016 and 2020. Over a year ago, I advised the Register I would not renew when my 2024 contract expired with the latest election poll as I transitioned to other ventures and opportunities, Seltzer explained in an op-ed on Sunday in the Des Moines Register. So that is what a lot of people are talking about now, truly here. And some on social media were saying, okay, did this have anything to do with her maybe retiring and then wanting to put out something that was maybe pro-Harris? Well, that she is rebuffing that and saying, no, I had this planned for a while. The Des Moines Register Mediacom Iowa poll published November 2nd found Harris leading Trump 47% to 44%. This was a 7-point shift from Iowa, polling in September, which found Trump had a 4-point advantage over Harris. In the previous 2 elections, Trump handily won the state by a significant margin, defeating Hillary Clinton by 9.4 percentage points in 2016 and Joe Biden by 8.2 percentage points in 2020. The pollster admitted
Iowa used to be a swing state.
17th op-ed, the results were indeed shocking, but her findings look good, and her history of accuracy over 30 years of polling may have made the outlier position too comfortable. She says also,
one of the things that I have observed is the swing states have actually shifted a lot in my adult life. In 2000, the swing states were Ohio and Florida. It's weird. Oh, Iowa was a swing state. So it's kind of weird to see how the demographics shift over a couple of decades, and that doesn't seem like a lot of time. But then again, this show has almost been going for three different presidents. 2 different presidents in 3 different terms. All right, let's get to the crime portion of the show. I'm gonna throw out what I was gonna do for Live Music Monday tonight. I was gonna do OTEP, and if you know, you know. Well, I was gonna do OTEP, and I was gonna do Oasis. 2 O bands, weird, right? No, we're not doing OTEP and Oasis. Kevin, Alien, good evening. Munster Balls, did I tell you good evening? And I'm sorry if anybody feels that I single Munster Balls out and made like he's special or something, but no, it's just that I really like saying Munster Balls. When Lamp Boob was in here the other night, I kept saying Lamp Boob. I didn't mean to neglect you, and Tar Harkin was a decent senator. We're watching Trevor Moore tonight for Live Music Monday. I'm throwing out the script. Only some of it's even live. So, some crime stories real fast. Let's get through them. A retired Chicago police officer has been shot, apparently in critical condition.
And we're continuing to follow that breaking news on the north side, where a retired Chicago police sergeant has been critically injured in a shooting.
And one suspect is in custody right now, but a perimeter is in place as SWAT teams search for a second. And WGN's Julian Cruz live now near the scene in North Center with the very latest tonight. Julian.
Well, Ray and Micah, this violent incident believed to have been a carjacking or some sort of armed robbery. But tonight, Chicago Police News Affairs say that
they didn't even know it was a cop.
Still under investigation.
The former cop.
Detectives still working to determine the exact motive for this terrible crime that left a retired 74-year-old former CPD sergeant in critical condition fighting for his life at Illinois Masonic this morning. At last report, listed in critical condition. This photograph capturing the moment one of the suspects was taken into custody by police after squad cars and SWAT team specialists converged on the scene of the crime in Chicago's densely populated North Center neighborhood.
Boom, boom, boom. And it was, it wasn't like a firecracker or anything else. And so you knew it was definitely a gunshot.
Resident Carol Palomar hearing the gunshots just around 9 this morning, a short while later looking out her window to see the victim in distress.
And I saw the man inside the ambulance, and he was kind of like struggling.
The 74-year-old wounded twice in the arm with a graze wound to the neck, according to Chicago police and the Chicago Fire Department. Sources within the police department and City Hall confirming that the victim was rushed to Illinois Masonic Hospital, that he is a retired Chicago police sergeant.
People are afraid. It's just the worst thing that can happen to any community.
Alderman Matt Martin grateful to the police and special SWAT units that rushed to the scene, capturing one of the suspects who allegedly opened fire on the retired sergeant while surrounding a row of buildings just south of Berthoud, where the second alleged gunman
Not so many anymore, is it?
Manhunt, forcing a soft lockdown at nearby Coonley Elementary, parents say, but no indication whatsoever that any of the students or staff were in danger.
This neighborhood is not accustomed to gun violence. Anything like this that happens, people are aware of.
Now, just in the last few minutes, we have seen SWAT team personnel and armored vehicles leaving the scene. They just reopened Lincoln just behind me here while we were going live. No details yet at this moment in time in regards to that second suspect. Of course, we will work to get more information and we'll bring it to you as soon as it becomes available.
Balls, Flash, weren't you guys fighting yesterday? Have you patched it up? Have the kids settled their differences? I love both of you. Do you guys remember the Idaho college student who may have chopped up 3 college girls and a college dude? May have. I don't know yet. I'm still holding out judgment because he apparently says that his lawyers say that they have bombshells they're going to drop. We might have seen some of those today in court.
Idaho college murders case, defense attorneys are challenging key evidence that they say was improperly obtained by police, including search warrants and DNA. Kana Whitworth joins us now with the latest. Good morning to you, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. So these are sweeping challenges that center around the investigative genetic genealogy and how authorities linked Kohberger to the crime in the first place, as well as his dramatic arrest in the dead of night, despite weeks of surveillance where they say he was seen unarmed.
This morning, new court filings from Brian Kohberger's defense team depict a chaotic night when the former PhD student was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. His lawyers claim during the raid, law enforcement broke the front door of the home, shattered the sliding glass door of the basement, and held the entire family at gunpoint, and that with his hands tied and surrounded by police at gunpoint, Kohberger made statements to his arresting officers. Despite not having his rights read to him, they want those statements thrown out, along with other
What are those statements?
evidence lead defense attorney Ann Taylor argues were illegally gathered by law enforcement using his genetic information. Authorities linking Kohberger to the crime after they say they found DNA that was a statistical match on the button strap of a knife sheath at the crime scene, where Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death.
When law enforcement uses that positive match and then says, well, we need to go and get a search warrant because we have a positive match for Brian Kohberger, that the DNA evidence is tainted and anything comes from it is fruit from a poisonous tree.
The defense, who says Kohberger is innocent, claiming without that genetic information, there could have been no request for his phone records, which prosecutors also say implicate Kohberger. Taylor also challenging the way authorities gathered search warrants, especially pertaining to the search of Kohberger's car, a white Hyundai Elantra, as well as his Apple and Amazon accounts.
Now, Taylor says the warrants lacked probable cause. Now, this trial is set for August, but we're also still awaiting the judge's decision on the defense's request to have the death penalty taken off the table. Guys.
Still so much up in the air there. Okay, Kana, thank you.
Yeah, this is going to be one to watch. August is when it goes to trial. I wonder if it makes it that far. Not often do I do a story where someone's death is going to make the chat happy, but I feel like this one might be that. Okay, we've done a few of those. The dude that got off on fraud charges and went and celebrated on a super unsinkable yacht. That was a fun death. The Titanic submersible thing, that was probably a fun death. A Nashville billionaire shot himself.
Involving Nashville scene owner Bill Freeman. Fox 17 News has learned Freeman has passed away. We don't know the cause of his death right now, but in the last hour, we also learned Metro Police are actively investigating a shooting at Freeman's home in Green Hills.
Well, we do know the details that he shot himself. Died by suicide. Freeman's son, who's a state representative from Nashville, confirmed the passing. An active shooting scene took place at Freeman's home in Hillsborough Pike on Sunday night. Freeman, who co-owned the company Freeman Webb with his former business partner, the late Jimmy Webb, stepped down as CEO in 2023. Freeman suffered multiple strokes over the years, but never fully recovered. Oh, I was hoping he got caught doing something horrible. Apparently, he just had health issues. A woman who had been reported missing may have been spotted in some video.
She was traveling from Hawaii to New York but mysteriously vanished while on a stopover in Los Angeles.
We need medical euthanasia,
This is the
absolutely.
last haunting video of Hannah as she just happened to walk by an event promoting LeBron James sneakers. Jim Murray spoke with family members who are desperate for answers.
Mystery is swirling around the disappearance of a young woman headed to New York City. This surveillance photo shows Hannah Kobayashi arriving at LAX on November 8th from her home state of Hawaii. The 30-year-old photographer was en route to New York City, but missed her connecting flight by mere minutes.
We have confirmed footage of her running and trying to catch the flight.
I spoke to Hannah's two aunts and father.
I'm just twisting and turning for the last week about what's going on.
So what happened to Hannah? Here's one clue. 2 days after she landed in LA, a videographer just happened to capture footage of the missing woman attending a Nike LeBron James merchandise event at the Grove shopping mall. Notice she's wearing headphones and a backpack. Next day, her phone pinged at LAX. She also texted something unsettling to her family. I just finished a very intense spiritual awakening. I'm heading back to the airport to get to NYC. I might need some help getting there. There was also another troubling text. I got hacked. I can't fly. I got tricked pretty much into giving away my funds for someone I thought I loved.
Oh, God. Did she fall into some kind of a cult? Ugh, that don't sound good.
Something unsettling to her family. I just finished a very intense spiritual awakening. I'm heading back to the airport to get to NYC. I might need some help getting there. There was also another troubling text. I got hacked. I can't fly. I got tricked pretty much into giving away my funds for someone I thought I loved.
She felt scared, unsafe, just strange things.
They say Hannah's ex-boyfriend was also on her flight to LA, but believe he has nothing to do with her disappearance.
That is not the case of the investigation at this time.
Now comes another sighting of Hannah at a downtown metro station. Her family says authorities showed them footage 7 days ago of Hannah and that she did not appear to be in good condition. And she was not alone.
We can confirm that our suspicions are real and that there seems to be something nefarious. She was with someone and it did not seem okay.
Hannah's family says she had just booked her first job as a professional photographer in New York and would never have intentionally missed her flight.
Wow. Ben Vox, welcome in. Wild story. I hope she is found safe soon. Energy Flow, welcome in. Good evening. You got here just in time for the bullshit. We're in the bullshit section of the show now. What bullshit are we starting with? Whoopi Goldberg is apparently beefing with a small bakery. What in the fuck is going on? I don't know if I can even play the clip because it's The View, and The View like copyright strikes you. Not like you can't monetize the video, like take the video down, copyright strikes you. Whoopi Goldberg is beefing with a small bakery in latest culture war battle. The Staten Island bakery denied Goldberg's Sorry, I got a cat got in front of the monitor. There's a cat here and there's a cat here. There's two. There are two right here. Buddy. A Staten Island bakery denied Goldberg's suggestion that it refused to serve her because of her politics. Supporters have since flocked to the bakery as local officials called on Goldberg to apologize. Well, why didn't you serve Whoopi? What in the fuck?
Refused to make them for me.
The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg implied that a Staten Island bakery refused to take her order because of her liberal policies or politics.
They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
Yeah. The support has been so overwhelming.
This is the baker.
I know how hard my family has worked to keep this business alive. And I wish my father was here today to see this. He would never believe it. My bakers come in 2 or 3 in the morning just to have donuts and rolls for everybody to come in and say, we have the best rolls ever.
We're here to stand up for one of the best families and businesses, not just Staten Island, but this country that appreciate. The Holterman family story, the Holterman bakery story, is an American story.
Goldberg doubled down on her claim and said the bakery did accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name.
It does seem a little odd that when we called a few weeks before my birthday and we were told they couldn't process the order for my birthday because of an equipment failure, but somehow they were able to accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name. But it's all okay, y'all, because I enjoyed my delicious dessert and I had a happy, sweet birthday.
Yeah, I think I might be on Team Whoopi on this one. I don't know. Staten Island. That's a tough one. A very popular gas station chain is changing its name. The Come and Go is set to undergo a rebranding, forgoing its name that has garnered viral immature reactions across social media.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
The company's rebranding announcement follows its acquisition by rival chain Merrick back in 2023. The rebranding will consist of combining the two chains together to reflect the Maverick. Oh, Maverick. I said Merrick. They're changing to Jizz and Go. Come and Go was originally launched in Iowa back in 1959 under the name Hampton Oil Company. The gas station would later transition to its viral name in 1975 to honor the initials of its owners' last names and to promote the speed of service available to customers. The gas station chain was able to reach the national spotlight due to the sexual innuendo that has been spread across social media. The chain's branded merchandise also gained popularity when a shirt was worn by a stunt performer, Johnny Knoxville, in Jackass number 2. The Come and Go. Yeah, you can't have the Come and Goes because of the damn wokes.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I'm sorry, Tadpole. You want to hear him again?
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Oh, just wait until we get Jim Justice in the Senate. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful clips next year. A wrestler has gone viral. A couple of wrestlers. 2 wrestlers have gone viral. Try me. I'm sorry, Shelly. I'm sorry. An interview with Cocaine A new cocaine-loving wrestler the internet is obsessed with. Confusingly, 2 cocaine-loving wrestlers went viral in the last week, and now this one wants war. Few big man wrestlers command as much love and adoration as Kane. I don't know who wrote this. Oh, I am proud. I'm proud of that. Few big men wrestlers command as much love and adoration as Kane. I don't know that that's true. The mayor of Knox County is a hardcore MAGA Republican. So much so that there's a fuckload of imitations. You've got Gain, Kane but gay, Candy Cane, Kane but he loves sweets, and Piss Kane, not sure what the gimmick is there, to just name 3. The 7-foot-tall younger half-brother of The Undertaker hung up the knee pads earlier this year and is now a Republican mayor in Tennessee. I don't think he hung up the knee pads yet. I don't think he's officially retired. Yet the thematic Kane universe is still expanding, and that star system now includes a guy called Cocaine, who's gone viral in the past week due to videos of him huffing copious amounts of white powder during a bout in a YouTube-based wrestling promotion called GTS, run by a guy named Grimm. That's got to be cocaine. Smokey, Jesus. So Vice got in touch with Cocaine and Grimm, who acts as Cocaine's handler, to see what's up and whether there's any bad blood towards Cocaine. Spoiler alert, there very much is, for reasons I'm still trying to fathom. Cocaine insists on speaking in the manner of a Humphrey Bogart-era mobster rum runner for the entirety of the interview. Is there more video? Yes, here we go. This is the Cocaine Coke Slam. Ugh. Oh my God, he's so skinny. But I mean, hey, kind of hard to put on weight when you're doing a lot of cocaine. I'm not done with sporting stories tonight. You want another one? A triathlon athlete has gone viral for reasons I'm sure she wishes she didn't.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Triathlete pleads with cameraman not to film her from behind after shitting herself moments before the finish. Now, this is very common if you guys don't know that runners, the way they eat and stuff, like they end up having diarrhea, like when they're, because like you don't want to be weighed down with food while you're running a race or a marathon or what the fuck ever. So it's actually really common that runners shit themselves. A moment where a triathlete told the cameraman not to film her from behind after she soiled herself has done the rounds over the weekend. Smokey, you're in the way. Go, go, buddy. Completing a triathlon might be up there with one of the most challenging and physically demanding things a person could do in sport. It'll come as no surprise to know it comes with many other issues along the way. The American has competed at the games twice, including this summer, bringing home a silver both times. Taylor Knibb is her name. Competed at the 2024 Paris Olympics, Knibb is known as one of the world's best triathletes, reaching the pinnacle of her career on Saturday, as she took first place in Dubai following wins in San Francisco, Ibiza, and Las Vegas earlier this year. I guess this is the clip that
He went all in. Myself. So can you not get my ass? Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic.
As hard as she could, and she went all in. Myself. So can you not get my ass? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. As hard as she could, and she went all in. Myself. So can you not get my ass? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
I mean, she says it nonchalantly because it is that common, you know. She's probably not the only one that shit themselves. Remember, I'm scrapping my original plan for Live Music Monday tonight. We are not going to watch OTEP and Oasis as I had planned. Smokey, will you get the fuck out of the way, please? Buddy. I'm assuming it would be hard to wear diapers when you're wearing those running shorts. Here is a video of some kittens nursing. Wait, what? What? That's not a kitten. It wasn't the cat slapping me with his tail. That wasn't the problem. I'd gladly let him slap me with his tail. He was sitting right in front of my monitor. I couldn't do my job. Lenny, welcome in. Have you safely made it to Hong Kong? He sits in front of my monitor all the time during the day, but like when I'm doing the show, it's kind of hard to do the show. What's this little fucker trying to do here? What are you trying to pull? You're not a kitten. You don't need to nurse. So my original plan was to do OTEP tonight, which I apparently had no clue was fronted by a woman who is named OTEP and is apparently quitting music. So that's why I was going to do OTEP. But, we did the Trevor Moore thing earlier, and I kind of want to do that now. We're going to watch Trevor Moore. So if you're watching on YouTube or the podcast, we're going to say goodbye to you right now. We're going to do Live Music Monday over on the Twitch and the D Live. So go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN, YouTube peeps, and the podcast. We will see you tomorrow night on the